Hello, everyone. It's time for Vanished Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 321, season 13. Today's date is April 7th, 2024, and welcome to the show. Yes, another podcast episode I'm doing today. On today's program, I'm going to talk about the rock group, the Shadows of Night. They performed during the mid-60s. And I'll talk about my memories of that band and their music. Also, I also talk about my memories of the Good Humor ice cream truck that I remember seeing in the parks in my neighborhood. So that one's going to be fun. It really is. So because I love ice cream, can't help it. So that's a very interesting topic. Right now, the program will go into a commercial break. This program is brought to you by Old Style Beer. And here's a commercial. Here's a commercial from 1979. And once I play this commercial, anyone who grew up in the late 70s and early 80s would remember these kind of commercials that Old Style had on television and on the radio. It's a classic. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the show, folks. Thank you.
Perfect brewing water. Gottlieb Heilemann spent years searching for it. Back in 1853, he found it. Sparkling pure Wisconsin spring water. Today, Heilemann's Old Style is still brewed with virgin pure water from underground springs. Still brewed in the old world way called krausening. Heilemann's Old Style, pure brewed in God's country, slowly and naturally.
Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at AmericanExpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Old Style Beer from 1979. That beer's still around. It's not the same, but I'll get to that in a second. That is brewed by the Heilemann Brewing Company. And it's been around for a long time, very long time. And when I was growing up as a teenager, and when I started going to Bogan High School, that's all I ever saw, this beer. The logos and all that. I saw the kids with the T-shirts and all that. And, looking back then, it was kind of shameful in a way because now, kids were starting drinking like that. And I go, ooh, wow. And to tell you the truth, that wasn't my first taste of beer. Not really. It was when I went to Greece. No, actually, I apologize. Yeah, it was Old Style. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was about 15. I went with a friend. He called me and said, "Yeah, let's get together and somewhere." And I got a 6-pack and we'll drink. And I go, all right. Out of curiosity, as most teenagers were back then. So I had 1 or 2. That's it. I didn't get drunk or anything like that. I've only been drunk maybe two or 3 times in my life. I don't like it. I don't like the feeling. I don't care for it. And never had a hangover for some strange reason. But that's all the kids were talking. All the kids at Bogan were talking about this beer, but they drank other brands, like Stroh's, that's gone, or Budweiser, not so much. Schlitz, that was on its way out. What else was there? Michelob. Mostly it's just old style, and that is sold at. It's so popular it became one of the sponsors of the Chicago Cubs. I don't know if it's still there because I don't go to Cubs games, so I only went once. So yeah, so that was my first time drinking old style. The second time, when I went to Greece in the summer of 1979, me, my mom, and my brothers, we visited there. We stayed at my grandmother's house, and then my uncle. Not the one who lived there, my other uncle, he said, well, why don't we go out and have some shish kebab, souvlaki. And there was a beer called Henninger. It's from Germany, I believe. And that was the first time I really had beer, under adult supervision. My mom didn't get mad, not really. I only had one glass like that. And it's a little lenient back then, that people drink. It was okay. It was very good. Over the years, I don't drink. I drank other kinds, Coors Light, Heineken, all that. But I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not even a big fan of wine. Not an alcoholic, except champagne at New Year's Eve. But the past few years, I like Greek beer. I had Fix. This is to all the Greeks that I know, all the Greek in Chicago. I like Fix, and I tried Mythos recently. That was about a couple months ago. That was pretty good. Yeah, so I like Greek beer better than American beer. I'm so biased. So I'm sure in Greece it's delicious. So I only drink on special occasions. Last time I had Old Style, I was interviewed for Chicago Magazine by Ted McClelland. I hope I pronounce his name. He's a very nice guy. And we went to Vito and Nick's, and we had Old Style beer. And you know what? It was pretty good. That goes with the pizza. That's tradition. That's located on 84th Street and 84th Place and South Pulaski Road in the Ashburn neighborhood. So the place is still there. The pizza's good. So you can't go wrong with that. So I'd like to go again someday. So the decor hasn't changed. But I don't drink much alcohol. Not really. I have no desire. No, not really. As for the commercial, like I said, I used to watch it all the time on television. That was during the late 1970s when I was a teenager, then early 80s. And, as more popular beers were introduced, so Old Style, it's still okay. With Kreuzening, the formula like that. But, I think it's changed so much. And they brewed in La Crosse, Wisconsin. I don't know if it's still brewed there. I'm not sure. But a lot of people said it's not the same when they were younger. Maybe they're right. Maybe they are. I don't know. So don't ask me. I'm not an authority on it. I'm a pop drinker. I like soda pop. But now I stopped. I only drink pop maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. I drink water, which is dull and boring. So because of health issues, pop's not good for you, especially with sugar. Diet pop's okay, but there's nothing good like a good cold glass of soft drink to drink. What are you going to do? You can drink water, but like I said, it gets tedious. Really gets tedious, but it's good for you. Water is very healthy. Okay. All right, that's enough of the beer. Okay, at the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about the rock group Shadows of Night and also my memories of the Good Humor ice cream truck. Before I get started, I want to mention one thing. Yesterday, I did a podcast about the White Castle restaurant located at West 79th Street and South Pulaski Road, right on the corner, across the street from Bogan High School, where I went to school. The responses I got from the podcast episode have been amazing. People loved it, and even when I posted, when I was announcing that I'm going to talk about this, they were like, oh, they were excited. And then, before that, I posted a picture of myself going there that Friday for lunch, and like I said before, they were complaining because I ordered one double White Castle and a small fry. Again, I got health issues. I got to be careful, because I got high cholesterol and high blood pressure. I take medication. I could eat more if I wanted to, but I just want to be careful. I just want to show people that I ordered there. This was quiet and, not very busy. Not just like, it wasn't like that when I was in school. No, it was jam-packed, very busy, And some kids from my class at Bogan went there yesterday. And the other kids as well from Bogan. And just for one last time, I saw some pictures, and that was beautiful. That was very nice. And then some people said that they were closing at 5 o'clock in the morning today, on Sunday morning. Maybe that's true, or maybe they're closing at the end of the day. I don't know. Oh, I'm not going to hop in the car and go check. So, but they are closing April 7th, and they are going to, according to some information that someone sent to me, that they're going to replace it with a Mexican restaurant. So at least it won't be vacant, It would have been great if they had a Dunkin' Donuts there. That would have been fine. Because I don't know if there's just one around the neighborhood. I think there's one like 79th Street West, Cicero. Maybe you should have done that. I don't know. But the land is bought, the property, so they're going to convert that. So that's good news in a way. It's just, it's not the same anymore, and I felt really sad that a part of my childhood memories is gone, and everyone else's, Some people loved it. Some people hated it. Some people got sick from it. It's happened once in a while, I don't know what it is, I guess it's your, your digestive system like that. So what are you going to do? Okay. So what are you going to do? So there are other White Castle locations in the area. There's one in 63rd Street in Cicero and near Midway Airport. There's one in 1400 West 79th Street on Loomis Boulevard. Yeah, that's a little east of there. And but there's a few in the suburbs. There's one in Chicago Ridge, Bridgeview, 79th and Harlem. That's still there. You can still go there. There's one in Ogden and Harlem. I go. I haven't dined there in a long time, but that's on the way to the hospital where I, go see my doctor. It's right there. There's still a few. Some have closed. Some remain open. So it's changing. Because fast food is getting expensive. It really is. It's not like in the old days. No, it's changed. Okay. He also said that it wasn't performing well at 79th Street, which I can understand, because it's neighborhoods changed and, so that's sad. That really is. Okay. Let's get started. We'll talk about the Shadows of Night, and I'll give you a history of the band, and I'll tell you my memories of listening to this band. So here we go. The Shadows of Night, they were an American rock band from Chicago. They were influenced by the British blues. And they began recording in 1965. And let's see, so let's see. So when they formed in 1964, they were simply called the Shadows, and then they changed. And then there was a man, uh, but there was already a British group called the Shadows, so they had to change it because that could be confusing. So there was a man called Wiz Winters. He was a friend of the manager of. His name is Paul Sampson, and he came up with the name Shadows of Night to tie in with the British invasion. And all the band members attended Prospect Heights. No, excuse me, Prospect High School in Mount Prospect, Illinois, right up north. And the sports team at the time was called the Knights. I don't know if it still is. No, I have no problem. And let's see. So the founding members include Jim Soanes. He's a vocal. He just died about last year. That's kind of sad. There was Warren Rogers. He's the lead guitar. There was Norm Gotch. He was the guitarist. Wayne Purcell, and he's another guitarist. And the one who played the drums was Tom Schiffer. And they only released 3 albums. And I think they replaced a few people during that time. And they only performed around the Chicago Northwest suburbs. And they became the house band at a place called The Cellar. And it was a music venue located in Arlington Heights, Illinois. I'm sorry about that. Sorry for the pause. Paul Sampson, he owned a record store during that time, and then he became the music promoter and manager. And then, so they did travel, not just there, but probably around that. They probably did some opening acts too. And they recorded a song called Gloria. And that's a classic. And it was from Dunwich Records, you know. And my first memory of listening to that song, and that was like maybe the early 70s. I heard them on WLSAM FM radio that played all the time. And it's like, Gloria, Gloria. Oh, yeah, that was great. I loved it. I love that song, you know. And so they released some other singles, but it wasn't that popular. There was one called Shake that came out in 1968. That was a little, it was a little more popular, but not much. So they released 3 albums. Well, actually 4 in a way. The albums were Gloria in 1966, then another one called Backdoor Men. And then the third one was Shadows of Night. After it was the self-titled one. I don't think that was very popular at the time. But the first 2 albums were from Dunwich Records. Okay. And then the band broke up, and then they reunited, and you know how that goes. And so they performed, but with different members, and blah blah blah, like that. Let's see what else. The original band member. So I mentioned that Jimmy Sons passed away in July 29th, 2022. He was 75. He died of a stroke, so that was sad like that. So, I just love bands from, like from my hometown. You have the Buckinghams, you have what's it called? The New Colony 6. What else? Can't think of the top of my head. The Crying Shames, like that. I'll talk about those soon. I know the New Colony 6 is still performing. I think the Buckinghams are, in a way, not with everybody. So, but So that's one of great memories of that band and their famous song Gloria. You know, which is that's wonderful. Okay, all right. Next up, I'm going to talk about the my memories of the Good Humor ice cream truck. Uh, right now, I'll take a quick break, and when I come back, I'll start talking about it. Okay? Thank you, folks, and I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, I'm back. Right now, I'm going to talk about my memories of the Good Humor ice cream truck. Let me give you a brief history about this company. It was founded in 1920 in Youngstown, Ohio. And then just they invited the Good Humor Bar. It was a chocolate coated ice cream bar on a stick, and then sales just took off. And then in the 1950s, you saw, well, maybe earlier than that, you would see the trucks, that would travel around the neighborhoods, and you would recognize it immediately with the trucks. They were kind of small. They have the Good Humor logo with the ice cream bar bitten like that on the sides. Then they introduced more flavors, like, for example, chocolate eclair, strawberry shortcake, and the list goes on and on. Drumsticks, they had that. Popsicles, I think that came later, or that was another company, but mostly it was ice cream, And so yeah, I think they did sell popsicles. Yeah, I think they did. That's what I remember. I could be wrong. Anyway, my earliest memories of the Good Humor ice cream truck is when I lived in Roseland neighborhood in Chicago for 5 years, from 1969 to 1974. My mom, also sometimes my dad, we would go to Palmer Park in the Roseland neighborhood. That was located on East 111th Street, between 111th Street and East 113th Street, from South Indiana Avenue to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. It's a beautiful park. Still is. I remember the swimming pool, and we used to ride our bikes. I'll talk about that someday. And then, sometimes we played with other kids. We knew people from our church and from the neighborhood. We get together and all that. Then when you're playing or you're talking, all of a sudden the ice cream truck comes, and you would hear that song, Turkey in a Straw, like that. And as a kid, with my brothers and with the other kids, oh, that was like, oh my God, here he comes. Oh, and we get excited and we beg our parents to buy ice cream, which, they relented sometimes, but, sometimes it was close to dinner time and my mom would say, no, she had a point, but if it was like earlier in the day, like in the afternoon, yeah, she would buy us. And then we would run to the truck and wait in line, and there would be the ice cream man, and he still played the music. And then my mom would ask, what would you like? And they had the menu on the side of the truck. And I would point out, the picture, I would like a chocolate eclair or an ice cream sandwich, which is one of my favorites. And she would pay. Well, of course she would, and my father too. He did that. He had believe it or not, my dad, when he was alive, he was not much of he didn't like sweets that much, but when it came to ice cream, he loved it, and he had some too. So that was great. My mom, not so much. I mean, she likes it in a bowl, and you buy it store-bought. Anyway, so there was a great memory of that when I was maybe, between when I was 6 and 10 years old. During the summer months, we wouldn't buy every day, but, because my mom didn't want us to eat all the time, which she had a point like that, because we had ice cream at home too, for special occasions or just for a treat. And then when we moved to the Ashburn neighborhood in 1974, we bought a house. And you know what? The ice cream truck was there. I don't know. To tell you the truth, I don't know if the Good Humor Man was there. I think maybe it was Mr. Softy or some other truck. I don't really remember, but he did travel around in the summer, and we heard that song, Turkey in a Straw or some other song. And we would rush, I would rush with the other kids in the neighborhood. We'd do the same thing, but we had money. But first I would run to the house, let my brothers know, and let my mom, ice cream truck is coming. Can we buy ice cream? We ask her first. Yes. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And then we run and get some ice cream, and it's those hot summer days and nights that really hit the spot. So that's a great memory of that. Yeah, like that. And they discontinued those later on, probably in the 80s or 90s. I'm not sure, because I never saw them anymore. I never saw them. The Good Humor trucks. And now Good Humor is still in business, the ice cream company, but they're sold in stores. And, I haven't bought one in a long time. Not a chocolate eclair or strawberry shortcake, but I did buy one with what's that called? The chocolate chip cookie with the chocolate chips all around with the vanilla ice cream. That is good. I love that. I don't know if it was available when I was a kid. Maybe, maybe not. I didn't pay attention. So it was all right. But, I think the ice cream tasted better in the truck than in the stores for some strange reason. And, where I live now, during the summer, you don't see much. I saw a couple ice cream trucks drive around, but I don't see many kids running like when I was a kid. Not really. He would drive around like that. And so that is a beautiful childhood memory. Oh, when the ice cream truck is driving around the neighborhood or at a public park. And sometimes when you drive around, I drive around in my car and I see that park, the truck that is, and all the kids lining up with their parents, getting ice cream for their kids. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. So, but my favorite flavor, of course, was the chocolate eclair. I love that. Of course, ice cream sandwiches. You can't beat that. I love it. My favorite is when it's crunchy, that kind of soft like that. And sometimes when you squeeze it, all the vanilla ice cream would squeeze out like that, and you would just lick it with your tongue and just eat it. But the sandwich, you get like on your fingers and you start licking them. You make a mess. Of course, you get a napkin and wipe yourself off. Yeah, I haven't had an ice cream sandwich long time. I love them. I really do. Okay. So that's it for this show. I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I talked about the rock group The Shadows of Night from the 1960s and my memories of the Good Humor ice cream truck. This podcast will be published today, wherever podcasts are available. Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts is gone. They no longer do that. Also, Breaker, Overcast. You can hit follow, and if you do that, you click on follow, and then it'll give you a notification of the latest episode. Also, be on my blog, vanchicagoland.blog. Okay, and also be on my that'll be on my website. That is, excuse me. Also be on my YouTube channel, Van Chicagoland Stories. Again, if you want to trying to find it, this is what you do: go to YouTube, type in Van Chicagoland Stories or the podcast or my name, and you will find it. Hit subscribe, and you'll get the latest episodes. If you care to wish to listen to previous episodes, please do. If you have time, that'd be great. I had a comment from somebody that said, "Oh, when you do the commercials, why don't you show the video?" And I said, "This is audio." I haven't answered to him yet. I'm sorry, but this is audio. I don't know how to do that. This is an audio podcast like that. I will answer to him later. Also, be shared on my social media accounts: Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. There's the link. If you want to click on the link, copy the link. It'll take you right there. You can listen. Okay. So that's it for today. So this is Pete Costanis, your host for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me on a Sunday. It's a little rainy, a little cool. Tomorrow, it's going to be nice and warm. And also, it's the eclipse. A lot of people are excited about that. Ooh. I will probably do another podcast episode Tuesday. We'll see. And so, again, I'm still going to miss White Castles on that location. I still can't accept it. It's hard. Okay. All right. So, again, this is Pete Costanis, your host for Van Chicagoland Stories. Thank you for joining me. I leave you off. Bye-bye for me. And here's a little traveling music with Ray Rayner saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.